1 week away from the kickoff of the Ravens and NFL season. The Ravens 53-man roster has dropped. So much NFL news and college football tonight on this episode of the Purple Rain Podcast. Yes, welcome back to episode 259 of the Purple Rain Podcast. The No LRB episode, the Arthur Brown episode, AJ Klein, Craig Powell, Zach Woodfin, Joe Mace, and Dalen Hayes, who played 4 snaps for the Ravens in a regular season game of the Purple Rain Podcast. Thank you for coming through this episode on this lovely Thursday, this lovely Friday Eve. We have so much to talk about, but first and foremost, you can follow us on Instagram, which actually is being streamed live on right now at the Purple Rain Podcast. So, on X, on Instagram, on YouTube, fun times. You can follow us right there, the Purple Rain Podcast. Follow this guy over here on Instagram, on X at Sutton Def. You can follow me on Instagram at simplyas10.prod and on X at simplyas10. And most importantly, our lovely, jubbly sponsor, Manscaped. Use code PRP, 20% off your whole order, free international shipping. One of the most beautiful things in the world. We can't really talk about it enough. Go get something for yourself, somebody else. But it is Thursday. We are live. Ravens news, 53-man roster. But like I always do, how was your week going, Sutton, first and foremost?
Week is going great. And let me tell you why. Let me preface it with this. You just brought up Manscaped, our sponsor. Manscaped is going to be sending us some new products very, very soon that we will have the opportunity to show you guys. So make sure you stay tuned in because Manscaped, they've got a ton of new stuff coming out, and we're gonna get to try it out, and we're gonna get to tell you guys our review on it. It's gonna be our honest review, even though they're our sponsor, but we're gonna give our honest opinions. That's what we do here on the Purple Rain Podcast. So make sure if you do like those products, and if you already see something you like on the Manscaped website, go on manscaped.com, fill up your cart sky high, put in the code PRP, save yourself 20% plus the free international shipping. But bill paying aside, promo stuff aside, I'm doing great. And the main reason is for what you just mentioned. Football is back, man. And NFL football is not back for, I know, another week, right? A week from today, we will be getting ready for the Ravens to take on the Chiefs in an AFC Championship rematch, man. It's going to be, it's mind-boggling. I was driving home earlier today, and I was thinking to myself, like, damn, like football's back in literally 7 days, a week's time.
Yeah.
And our Ravens are going to be playing. So that's really all I need. But tonight, Colorado is playing North Dakota State University. You just told me North Dakota is like a very viable opponent. So I'm excited as hell to see what Coach Prime, Shedeur Sanders, Travis Hunter, all those boys are going to be able to offer up in year 2 of their kind of their core, their nucleus that they put together against the North Dakota State, Trey Lance's alma mater. So it's going to be good. And I'm doing really good too. So again, you can follow us on Instagram at the Purple Rain Podcast. Big shout out to everybody watching on YouTube right now. Number 1. Number 2, big shout out to everybody watching on X right now. Number 2. Number 3, big shout out to everybody watching on the brand new streaming source of ours, Instagram. So you might be watching this on Instagram, the Purple Rain Podcast on Instagram right now, on the Purple Rain Podcast YouTube channel. Through the Purple Rain Podcast YouTube channel. Look down here. If you don't have us on Instagram yet, this must be all the reason to get us on Instagram. Because, I mean, look, you can watch us anywhere. You can watch us damn near anywhere. We're coming to TikTok soon. We're coming to, I don't know about Twitch. It's more for gamers and whatnot. But we'll be on TikTok soon. Just wait on it. But okay, let's go ahead and get into some ball talk here, right? But before we do that, I would be remiss if I did not bring up who's here in the live chat. The Rain Gang is in full effect tonight. Tim Hughes, what's going on, Tim? Says, what's up, Ravens Nation? Appreciate you for coming through, brother.
How are the burgers, Tim?
How the burgers?
How the burgers? We got to know.
Let us know. Mod K-Dog in the house says, yo, what's good, Rain Gang family on this Friday Eve? Hello, K-Dog. Thank you for coming through.
Howdy.
Always giving the big shout out to Manscaped. Always giving the shout out to the hashtag replay gang. Oh, that's right. If you are not watching this on YouTube, if you're not watching this on X, if you're not watching this on Instagram live right now, and you are part of the hashtag replay gang, thank you so much for watching this episode of the show. Episode 259. That's right. Episode 259 of the Purple Rain podcast. 260 is going to be our Monday episode. Then 261, Ravens Chiefs preview. So make sure you stay locked in if you're part of the replay gang, if you're part of the live Rain gang. Stay locked in, subscribe to the channel. Also, like the video, guys. That helps us out more than you can imagine. If you are a YouTuber watching this, you know how much likes on your video helps out your channel. So please do us a favor, like the video. That helps us keep more content flowing your way. Let's see who else is in here in the live chat here. We got Chike. Chike's not a mod yet, but I feel like Chike's approaching mod status.
It's very close. It's
Yeah.
very close.
We might need to get him in
for
there.
NFL season. Yeah.
Exactly. Right, exactly. What's going on? Chike says, what's good, Rain Gang? The draft starts at 8:30, and how do we know who has first pick in the draft, or what pick in the draft? That's right, Chike. The Rain Gang Fantasy League is full, right? It's at capacity. We are drafting tonight at 8:30. That'll be basically right after this episode. The draft on the NFL Fantasy app, it doesn't open until I want to say 30 minutes before the draft starts, either 30 minutes or an hour. And when the draft opens up, like the draft room, that's when it'll tell you the order in which we're picking. Right now, we don't know. As of right now, when we're recording this, we do not know the order, but in maybe about 30 minutes time, we will know. So there's your answer there. Appreciate you, Chike, for coming through. Kareem Shebeka says, yo, simply, you went stupid with the hype video, as he always does. I mean, is that anything new? Nothing new. Nothing new. You guys already know. We're going to pull it up here on stream in a few minutes here. Lisa Ann says, hey, Alex, Sudden Death, and friends. We need to go into KC and give them a taste of their own medicine. Who are you telling, Lisa? You're preaching to the choir.
Banner dropping. I mean, come on now. They beat you in your place, and they're showing what they got from that. Come on now.
Yeah. Do I see my boy? Is that my boy? Oscar. Oscar's in the house. Wow. What's going on, PRP? Happy to make one of these again. 1 week until game day. That's right, brother. I mean, we're so close. We can smell it, right? 1 week. Thank you for coming through. Mod Boz, what's going on, Mod Boz? The Steelers fan says Brandon Ayuk hate watch going to be crazy this year. Steelers season over. Yeah. So, I mean, right before we went live on this show, Brandon Ayuk just signed a 4-year, $120 million deal with the San Francisco 49ers. We'll talk about that a little bit more in depth a little bit later in the show, but I know Boz, the Steelers fan moderator in this chat, is hurting. He's hurting because of that. And I feel you. I feel your pain, Boz, because y'all been looking forward to it all offseason. I know you have. Let me see. We got Will Davis in the house says, do you think Kadir Ismail has a chance? Seems like the Ravens have a great tight end group. So, yeah, I mean, Kadir Ismail, we'll talk about we're going to talk about the 53 in just a few minutes here. So make sure you stay tuned. The Don, what's going on? Don C says, Sudden Alex, what's up? What's going on, brother? Appreciate you for coming through as well. That's my guy right there. Zeke Hokage in the house says, yo, what's good, y'all? Zeke is another one of the Purple Rain pioneers, always supporting, always showing up. Appreciate you for coming through. Okay, let's go ahead and get into what we came here to get into, right? Let's get into some ball talk. I know I said that 2 minutes ago, but I had to bring up the Rain game. That's what we do. Ball talk time, right? So first and foremost, before we get into any real ball talk, as I think my boy Will said earlier in the chat, Will Davis said earlier. No, that wasn't Will. Who said that? Kareem Shebeka says, yo, simply, you went stupid with the hype video. That's what we're going to start with, yo. We're going to start with this hype video. We got to see what our guy Simply AS10 has been cooking up for the preview for this 2024-2025 season for our Baltimore Ravens. Now, look. As you guys know, our guy Simply AS10, he's always cooking up with, he's got the visuals, he's got the music and the sound going and everything like that. Unfortunately, for the copyright purposes and whatnot, we can't really play the sound, but we can play the clip, the footage, and kind of just walk us through the story of it all, right? Because you're the editor, right? Yeah. I know editing, right? I went to college for video production. So I know editing. I know editing is literally telling a story. So
it is.
I want you to kind of walk us through as we watch this, what the story is for the Baltimore Ravens this year. Here we go.
All right. And, this is nothing that we all don't know.
The Kansas City Chiefs are heading to Super Bowl 58.
So, you
There
know,
we go.
we lose in the AFC Championship. You have Lamar out there slamming his helmet, throwing in triple coverage. Fans up there obviously upset, paying $500 for just a single ticket and a lot more. And then, of course, after that, you have Stephen A., Emmanuel Acho, Nick Wright, just a couple of guys that just keep on hanging on us and just saying, we're never going to beat
Oh, we
them.
got Queen in
We're
there.
chokers. Yeah, and then of course it's all the losses, from the
Yeah.
team, and then obviously Joe D passing away, Jacoby Jones passing away, and that's just the offseason. A lot of losses this offseason, literally and figuratively, and I really want to touch on that. You can probably see the bags under my eyes right now. I was up late trying to get this done, but yeah, I'm just going through there. Obviously Jacoby was to me a Ravens legend in a short stint here, and losing him obviously still kind of hits all of us, I'd say. And I just want to touch on that. And as we're going on, it's kind of we bring on the new year, and obviously Lamar Jackson talking about how we aren't finished. That he got that taste of the AFC Championship, and he was just on the Lounge podcast, saying that him and the guys feel that they're so close. They were 15 minutes away from making the Super Bowl if Zay Flowers scores a touchdown. And I'm just going here, training camp, fumbles, Justin Madubuike, Lamar Jackson, Roquan Smith, our core. The cores of this team, the guys who are making the most amount of money on this team, who we expect year in, year out to be our top performers. And so far, Roquan and Lamar have. And of course, Derrick Henry, the king. I mean, it still hasn't set in, honestly. It's not going to set in until 8:20 next Thursday that he's a Raven. But that's all we want to do. And, as we're watching the clips here, just, the dawn of the new season. Wish we could show more of it with the sound, but yeah, I mean, that was kind of the story. I think we're being counted out. You know, people have, not even us to make the AFC Championship again. And I just want to show that we still have a pretty damn good team. Kyle Hamilton, I mean, who we've kind of have talked about up there for one of the best defensive players in the league. So that was my main story with it. I'd love
Nate
to hear you
Wiggins.
guys, but yeah, I can't talk for all of it, but yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to the season, and I had a lot of fun making this video. I think 4 minutes long is the video altogether.
Yeah, I think it is too, like 357 or something like that. That is a lot
Yeah,
of editing. So big shout out, big round of
yeah,
applause to our guy Simply AS10 putting in that work because listen, a 4 minute video takes hours. I will tell you hours, sometimes even
yeah,
days, even like it's like that.
yes,
Okay.
it
Uh
is.
Tone Too Faded, what's going on, brother? Appreciate you for coming through. Tanja Bowman in the house, thank you for pulling up. Let's see,
Tanja,
Mod Rouge. What is up, y'all? What's going on, Rouge?
Roosh, come on, brother.
Yeah. But no, you brought up the fact that Lamar Jackson had mentioned that he kind of tasted the AFC Championship game, so he feels like we're getting closer and closer and closer. You know, it kind of reminds me of when a boxer is in a boxing match, right, or a UFC fighter is in an MMA match, and they're kind of like lollygagging through the fight until they taste their own blood. You know, you taste your
Yep.
own blood, and you kind of wake up, and it's just like, oh shit, I'm here. This is a fight. Like I know what I need. I know exactly what I need to do. Fighters say it all the time. Like it doesn't become real until you get to that point, you know. And I that's why I kind of I resonate with what Lamar Jackson had said there and what you had conveyed to me. Um, but this video, man, there's just a whole lot of emotions with it's starting out right and look at this,
You have to.
the
You
Deion
have to end it
Sanders,
on that.
man, the Deion
You have to
Sanders
end it
part,
on that.
man. That is freaking legendary, dog. Like I will never forget, like ever forget, when Lamar Jackson said they're gonna get a Super Bowl out of me. Believe that. He said that to prime time. He was coaching a game tonight, which it's all blowing my mind right now, to be honest with you. But
Yeah,
man,
yeah,
just just in all seriousness, Alex, the emotions going into the season are very real. Not only for Ravens players in that locker room, people in the front office, but for the fans. I can recount, waking up on the morning of the AFC Championship game last season and just kind of thinking like, damn, like, is this going to be just like 2012? We go to the Super Bowl, we win the Super Bowl, and for our dreams and for our hopes to be dashed like that, especially with the Zay fumble, the pick in the triple coverage. It was a very, very frustrating game. The 6 rushing attempts by running backs. It was such a frustrating game. And I'm very glad, and this may seem like ill timing, right? But like I'm very glad that the Ravens brought in a Derrick Henry. And you might be thinking like, okay, of course Derrick Henry, he's a good player, he's a good running back, but like, what does that have to do with this? I think it changes the look, it changes the landscape, right? It kind of gives a new energy, it breathes new life into this Ravens team, right? If we would have went back into this season, this 2024-2025 season, with the exact same playmakers on offense, right? If we would have went into it with a Gus Edwards and Justice Hill, Lamar Jackson, Zay Flowers, Rashad Bateman, likely Andrews, all those guys are great. Love them all. But if we would have just turned around and just tried to run it back, we would not have
Yeah.
the same sort of like level of anticipation for this season. Or at least I know I wouldn't. I wouldn't. I'm excited that the EDC made it intentional to kind of retool us in a couple of ways like that. I know we lost some pieces on defense, but when have you ever known the Ravens defense to have a huge drop off when the coordinator leaves? Like that's our culture. But what do you got to say, bro?
Yeah. You bring it up. There's a reason why we tried to trade for Derrick Henry last year,
Facts.
and there's a reason why it was vetoed. We had Gus Edwards, Key Mitchell was healthy. Gus was healthy, Justin was healthy. We wanted to add on because we knew that there was a missing piece in that offense, and we tried to do it, and didn't work. So us going out there and getting him, it adds something new. I feel like it's funny because on ESPN today they were playing just college games, and Georgia and TCU, the championship game from 2 years ago when they blew out TCU, and guess who the OC was? Todd Monken. I'm like, bro, like,
Yep.
where was that version of Todd Monken we could get? The one that was, you know, on their throats, just nonstop, pedal to the floor, and we didn't see that. We saw 6 carries. Now with Derrick Henry, you can be down 10 points, but you can, if you run it with him, 20, 25, 30 yards can be popped off in that moment. And we've seen it before. We stopped him in 2020 in the game at home. They beat us in overtime. We were doing a damn good job stopping him. And it gets to overtime.
Yeah.
And that one play takes it for a touchdown. Game over. That's what Derrick Henry does. That's what X Factor players do. Like a Lamar Jackson, like a Patrick Mahomes, like those guys. They have the X Factor. So us getting him, I am super excited for that. And we lost Odell. I would have liked to get another veteran in. Unfortunately, didn't happen. So I don't know what's going on with that, but the emergence of Likely is big. Andrews coming back healthy is big. I think Zay Flowers is a 1,000-yard receiver. After making that video and just going through looking at Zay Flowers, he
Mm-hmm.
has all the tools to become a 1,000-yard receiver, if not 1,200. If we throw the ball more, like his yak ability is insane. His separation is insane. His hands are very, very good. His only bad game, I thought, hands wise, was the Pittsburgh game, which everybody dropped the pass. So I'm feeling good about this season. We lost a lot of talent, obviously, but if we can, really just get this line right and our edge rusher step up, I can definitely see us, winning the North again. Not the number one seed, but make another run in the playoffs 1,000,000%, 100%.
Hmm. I kind of disagree with you when it comes to Zay Flowers. To be honest, man,
Okay.
you say 1,000-yard season, and you say he has all the tools. Like I think he can get a 1,000-yard season, but like to say he has all the tools right now, I kind of have to disagree. I think that I remember when Zay Flowers first got drafted, I called him on this very podcast Hollywood 2.0, and what we saw in his rookie season, that's kind of exactly what he was. To be honest with you, like he was a guy he create separation, catch the ball, try to make a guy miss, but not as physical as I would say you need to be, right, in order to have all the tools. He's a great route runner. He's got speed. He's got hands. But when we talk about who his quarterback is, Lamar Jackson, and what targets he prefers to target on a consistent basis, it's the bigger guys. Why do you think that Mark Andrews and Isaiah Likely get the targets that they do? You know, and I'm hoping Zay Flowers can emerge and be that guy, but it's gonna be tough, man. It's gonna be tough, especially considering, like we just mentioned, Derrick Henry is in the fold now. He's backed up by Justice Hill. God forbid when Keaton Mitchell gets back. There's only one football to go around. We said this last offseason. There's only one football to go around, and with Derrick Henry, on a primarily rushing team, a historically rushing dominant team, the opportunities will be far and few between, I think, for most of the wide receivers, to be honest with you. Um, again, I think Zay is capable of hitting 1,000 yards, but to say he has all the tools, you know me, man. You know me. Like, I like the bigger body. I like the possession receiver, the 3rd and 9. He's gonna run up 4 steps, slant across the middle. I can hit him on time. I know he's gonna catch the ball for the first down. That's my kind of guy. It is. Um, again, not to say Zay is not my guy, but I kind of have reservations on whether or not he can get an 1,000 yard season this year. But that's just me. That's just me.
Hey, I respect it. I think you say Hollywood Brown. I'm gonna go to a different Brown. I'm going Antonio Brown. Antonio Brown was 5'10". Zay Flowers is 5'9". A lot of his comparisons were to Antonio Brown. I'm not saying prime Antonio Brown, but the way he played, I think about the Dolphins game. He could have easily gotten hit. He stays in, jukes out. I think it was Eli Apple, jukes out Deshaun Elliott. Um, made guys miss. I definitely think I'm not saying he is, but that was a comparison he had at the college was AB with the height and the way they play. I'm not saying he is AB. Calm down, boss. I'm not saying that. But I definitely think him and Hollywood are different. After watching him for a full season, I saw two different receivers. I'll be honest. I mean, and the way Lamar was gushing over Zay too in the Lounge podcast, it sounds like he's gotten even better. And he's
Yeah.
grown up, matured, and that's kind of the thing I was talking about. I think tools is him maturing. We'll see. We won't see a taunting penalty. We won't see trying to be the hero. Take what they give you, but I wouldn't bet on him getting 1,000, but I definitely can see him being a 1,000-yard receiver, 1,000,000%.
So Tanja brings up here, Zay was balling. He was way more physical than Hollywood. He caught the ball and laid down. Hollywood Brown, she's speaking of. Um, I have a question for you, Alex, and the chat. Make sure you drop your answers down below in the live comment section. If you're a part of the hashtag replay game, make sure you drop your comments down below in the comment section. So let's take Zay Flowers, right? Let's put Zay Flowers right in the middle, right here. On one end, you have Hollywood Brown, right? On the other end, you have Tyreek Hill. Who is Zay Flowers closer to, comp wise? Hollywood Brown or Tyreek Hill?
We haven't seen Zay, the deep ball, the 50-50 ball. That's one thing we haven't seen. I think
Yeah.
Tyreek Hill does a great job of winning them. He'll
Mm-hmm.
position himself. His positioning is elite. I don't think he's given credit enough for that. Like, it'll be him in a corner, but he positions himself to get in front of the corner and catch it. And he is insane jumping. I mean, I do like Hollywood. I like him a lot. I didn't see Hollywood. It was the play against the Steelers. But Zay, he stops, throws the one Steeler player in front of him, and keeps on going for like 5 more yards. I'm gonna go a little bit towards Tyreek and less Hollywood. I didn't see Hollywood do that, and I don't want to compare the two because I don't think they're the same receiver. I really don't think they are. It's maybe in the height and that the build wise, but the way they play, I think they're different.
Yeah, I mean, Roosh says he's leaning Tyreek, and like that's something I got to see. He's got to show me like some more physical plays. Like he's got to show me some stiff arms. He's got to show me, like you said, some 50-50 balls. That's the main thing for me. When you go deep and Lamar inevitably underthrows one or two or three of them over the course of the season, I want to see you go up and be that possession receiver and catch that football. Like I don't want to see you trying to contest for or trying to prevent an interception. I mean, of course, if that's what it calls for, then go for it. But I want to see him snatching the ball out of the air like I see Tyreek Hill do. If we're going to say that we're
That
leaning
catch
towards
against the
Tyreek,
Bengals,
because
week 2, they had double covered. He came out with it, flexed on a mid play, which maturing. That would have been a touchdown. Think of that one. That was second NFL game.
what was that, week 2, right?
Week 2.
That See, I don't know if that was necessarily so much a 50-50 ball. Like he kind of caught it in stride, fell down. I'm talking more so like both you and the defender are waiting for the ball to come. You know what I mean? Like one of
Okay.
those.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about more so. I've seen Tyreek Hill do that, snatch the ball out of the defender's
Yeah. Oh
hands.
yeah. Oh
So
yeah.
right now for me,
Yeah.
you and Roosh are saying y'all are leaning more closer to a Tyreek comp for Zay Flowers. I'm leaning closer to a Hollywood Brown comp for Zay Flowers, at least right now. As of what is it, August 29th, 2024. I'm leaning towards, yeah. Let me see. Tone Two Faded says Zay is a more elusive. He's more elusive than Hollywood in his opinion. That's that's fair. I think he's quicker, more elusive, but not as fast. Not as fast as top end speed as Hollywood had. I think that's fair to say. So,
I'll
Taja
do this
Bowman
real
says,
quick.
okay, go ahead, go ahead.
So I'm just gonna pull up, when he was coming out of college, and just
Hmm.
some of his NFL comparisons, if that's cool, and just see what people
Okay.
have said.
Hmm.
Um, I'm on Bleacher Report now. NFL comp Emmanuel Sanders.
Yeah.
That was one of them
For
on Bleacher
Zay?
Report for Zay. Yep.
Emmanuel Sanders? Nah, that ain't it. That ain't it. Nah. Nah. Sorry, Bleacher Report. I'm not taking that. I can't do it. Um,
Mm,
but yeah, I want Zay to take that next step this year. I really do. My only concern is again the Ravens are a primarily a rushing football team. We just got one of the best rushers in the league. We already have one of the best running quarterbacks of all time, if not the best. We already know why we did not get to the Super Bowl last year is because we did not run the football as much as we
wonderful.
should have.
Yeah.
I just think this is going to be a ground and pound, run it down your throat sort of season, you know. And if we get the lead, if we jump out to early leads on teams, we're not going to be in shootouts, right? We're not going to be in firefights. So third and fourth quarter roll around, I just see even lesser opportunities for some of these receivers, to be honest with you, because I think we're going to be leaning on teams, as I always say, like feeding Derrick Henry, feeding Justice Hill, Keaton Mitchell, whoever it is, letting Lamar take it, running out the clock, right? Because that's what we're so good at doing. Uh, but let's go ahead. Let's move on from that. We have a super chat donation. This one's
Wow.
coming from the Don,
Done.
dropping the 10 piece in the chat. Appreciate you for making it rain here on episode 259 of the Purple Rain podcast. Don says Alex hype video gave me goosebumps, brother. Banger.
Thank you. Thank you.
9/23/24. Lisa Ann starts her first round of chemo. You are in our thoughts and prayers, Lisa. Kick cancer's ass. We got you,
Yes.
Lisa Ann. We got you. That's
We
that's
got
that's
you.
right, Don. We got you. We got your back, Lisa, all the way. Listen, if you need to talk to anybody, anything like that, you can hit us up. We're here for you. You have been such a loyal supporter of the show, so we want to be there to support you throughout your process. And we
It's the
just thank
least
you
we
so
can
much
do.
for joining.
We mean
It's
that, like
literally
the
the least we
literal
can do.
least.
Yeah.
It's-
And Don, thank you for bringing light to that as well. We really do appreciate that.
yes.
Love the Rain Gang so much. Love the camaraderie. Love the community. You guys are absolutely awesome. Don, you're
We're a
awesome.
fan.
Lisa, you're awesome. Everybody here, if you're listening to my voice right now, you are family of the Rain Gang, and we appreciate you for coming through to our episodes so consistently. And we appreciate you, Don, again for the donation.
Thank you, Don.
Um, yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. So let's get into what happened earlier this week. The Ravens finalized their 53-man
Yeah.
roster, right? And I have it here. I want to go ahead and bring it up on the screen. I want to get into kind of like our biggest takeaways from the
Okay.
53-man roster being dropped. So, Alex, when you saw this go down, what was your initial thoughts?
Our defensive back room is loaded. Number one. So much talent there. And then kind of edge rushers, man. I need something from Owe. Need something from Ajabo, but we've been talking about that all year. Line, a lot of question marks. And then receivers. Obviously, we know who our top three are, but after that, who's our four? And that's kind of where my questions marks lie. But for the most part, I really wasn't surprised about any of the moves they made. I was expecting everybody to make it. Who made it, make it. That includes Bo Braid. I'm not going to talk too much about that. I know I'd like to, but kind of expected everybody to make it who made it. So I'm happy with it. I think this is a good team. There's obviously two places we can improve, but that's just the way the cookie crumbles. But I'm feeling good. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling good as well. I don't think there were any big shockers, like huge shockers here. The only kind of like big shocker to me was the fact that Dayton Wade didn't make the team. Um, and Deontay Hardy did, especially considering we did not see nearly as much from Hardy as we did, excuse me, from Wade in the preseason. So it was weird there. It was weird there. But I get it. Harbaugh is a special teams guy. Maybe he sees something in Hardy, of course, Baltimore kid, that he'll be able to return punts or kick returns or something like that, and maybe he can really earn his keep. Another thing, Bo Braid, our guy Mod Roosh brought him up. You touched on him real briefly, but that is one of those. That's one of those elevations there. That's one of those picks for the 53 that really gets you fired up. The DB room is probably one of the most important position groups to have a ton of depth, right? Especially going into, the later end of the season when these teams are trying to like when teams are getting desperate, right? They're throwing the
Mhm.
ball all over the place and whatnot. You want to have that deep DB room because it's a long ass season. We've seen it time and time again, especially with the Ravens. Guys get banged up, especially these corners. They get banged up. And we're knocking on wood here, hoping nobody gets banged up, but it's football. I mean, it happens. So if a guy ends up missing time and we gotta plug Bo Braid in there, I have trust in a Bo Braid. Bo Braid plays like a Raven. He has a nose for the football, does not mind hitting you. He will hit your ass. That's one of his things, and I like that about him a lot. That was one big thing, one big takeaway for me. Another big takeaway, you mentioned the receivers. And yeah, the way that they have it listed here, so they have it listed Deontay Hardy's first, right? Then you got Zay Flowers, Rashad Bateman, Nelson Aguilar, Tylan Wallace, and then Devontae Walker. And people are thinking like, man, outside of Zay, man, it's rough. It's rough. And I'm thinking to myself like this, right, Alex? When you think about the Ravens, and more specifically the Ravens offense, and more specifically what position groups they want to prioritize in terms of targets and who's getting the ball. If I had to rank them, number one would be the running back. So that's going to be your Derrick Henry. That's going to be your Justice Hill. Those are going to be the workhorses, so to speak, of this offense. Keaton Mitchell when he comes back as well. Priority number two, target wise, right? It's not going to be the wide receivers. Newsflash, not going to be the wide receivers. It's going to be the tight ends. It always has been since Lamar Jackson's been here. I think that will continue to happen in the future as well. Mark Andrews, Isaiah Likely. We know that up through 6 years of Lamar Jackson's career, Mark Andrews has been his absolute favorite target. There's numbers to back that up. It's not even disputable, right? Last year, when Mark Andrews went down in the Thursday night football game against the Bengals after what was the Logan Wilson hip drop tackle, which changed the rules,
Yeah.
Lamar had to start utilizing Isaiah Likely a lot more. And when he noticed that Isaiah Likely was also a fucking dog, you know, he started being more intentional about going his way, looking his way on the field. So I think that's going to carry over into this season. And with that being said, I'll go over to the third priority in the offense in terms of target wise. It's going to be the wide receivers, guys. It's going to be the wide receivers. So you got running backs who got to get the ball first, tight ends who are going to get the ball second, and wide receivers third. Now, wide receivers and tight ends, me personally, I like to group them together as pass catchers, right? Pass catchers. And when you put them together and you talk about, okay, what pass catchers do we have? Not just the wide receivers, but what pass catchers do we have? Right? We got Zay Flowers. Nice. We got Mark Andrews. Really, really nice. Isaiah Likely. Nice. Rashad Bateman. Very cool. We all know what he can do. But even before we get to Rashad Bateman, that's three guys right there. Zay, Mark Andrews, and Isaiah Likely. Those are three guys that are reliable. We know what they're capable of. And if we want to go further, Rashad Bateman, we know what he's capable of as well. Lamar and him just got to get on the same page. And then you got Nelson Aguilar, right? And Tandra says here, we got the pass catchers. Yes. And this is why I kind of want to pull my hair out when I go on X or Twitter or whatever the hell you want to call it. And I see Ravens fans just still clamoring like, oh, we need a number one receiver. We're not done. We don't have anybody. Our wide receiving room stinks. And it's like, bro, let me remind you what people have been winning Super Bowls with over the past couple of seasons. We're talking about Rashee Rice, you know what I mean, for the Chiefs. We're talking about Brady had guys like Julian Edelman. You know what I'm saying? Not to take anything away from Julian Edelman, but like
Yeah.
there have not been a lot of star-studded wide receiver rooms winning Super Bowls, is what I'm saying. So I think you have to look at it from a lens of, okay, the Ravens have really good pass catchers. Our wide receiving room, if you look at it in a vacuum, it may not look amazing. But when you take the
No.
pass catchers as a whole, they look good. But what do you think about that?
Good point you make. A really good point you make. I'm definitely the one who I want us to get a big guy. I want us to draft a receiver. This year, somebody to compliment Zay Flowers. You know, to have like last year, we had so much talent with Odell there. Like it made it life easier. I thought for the receivers and for the quarterback and for the tight ends to get open as well. So many guys you got to worry about. And then you lose Odell, and then like, all right, well, who's going to bring in to replace him? Nobody. And yeah, when you bring up the talent, I look at the last 2 years with the Chiefs. Sky Moore catching the go ahead touchdown against the Eagles, like Sky Moore. The Chiefs fans they want him gone now. Sky Moore, Kadarius Toney making plays. The quarterback is elevating the play, and I want to see that Lamar, and he's been trying to elevate these guys. And I don't want to keep on going back to the Lounge podcast, but I listen to Dane hearing Lamar like he's a leader. Don't get it twisted. Like he's telling those guys like he said, I look at me, Ronnie, Mark, like we're the vets. Like we're getting old. Time's running out. Not really. He's 27, but in his eyes, where his mind is at, I think he wants to win, so many championships. Like time's running out. So yeah, I mean, I think this is definitely doable. Could be better, 100%. It could be better, but you'd be having to spend 30 mil for a single receiver, just like we saw today. Brandon Ayuk
Yeah,
get paid. So that's unfortunately the bad part. But I want to see us get another get an X for Lamar basically. And I'm not gonna sit here and say we suck because of it because we don't. But I'm not gonna let it ruin the day and call for EDC's head. It's a
yeah,
good team. And it's the Raven way, and unfortunately, that's how it is. We haven't been that team to go out there and spend that money, or we traded Anquan Bowen after he damn near won a Super Bowl. So
yeah,
I'll
yeah.
leave you there.
We got our guy Huddle It Up Films. Jason from Huddle It Up Films is in the house. What's going on, Jason? Appreciate you for coming through, brother.
Thank you, Jason.
Hope you're excited for football season just as much as we are. I know you are. It says 12 personnel. It's a lose-lose for defenses. Tough to find players who can cover Mark and Isaiah and stop Derrick Henry. And I totally agree with this. I mean, when you talk about 12 personnel, you got the one running back, Derrick Henry, and then the two tight ends on each side,
Yep.
Mark Andrews and Isaiah Likely. That is going to be an absolutely deadly combination. And I feel really, really sorry, specifically for off-ball linebackers, right? The guys who got to kind of play out in space, kind of read and react, sort of, things like that, because it's just going to be so many weapons going around. And I think the biggest thing here, now I wanted to ask you this a lot. I guess I'm kind of backtracking just a little bit. You brought up Odell Beckham Jr., the acquisition of OBJ from last year. Do you think that OBJ on this offense is a bigger distraction than a Derrick Henry on this offense for defenses? Is it a bigger
No,
problem? No.
no, no way. No, like okay, maybe in 2014, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Like with all due respect, I love Odell with everything in me. I'm a fan for life of his.
Yeah.
But the fact Derrick Henry, 30 years old, put up 1,000 yards behind five of me and you is insane. And him being paired up with Lamar Jackson, like that's why I don't think I'm really that worried about the run blocking because Lamar and Derrick Henry is going to cause so many problems with defenses.
Yeah.
If our pass blocking is really good and our run blocking is mid, I'm fine with that because of the threats we have and those 100% can develop. But Derrick Henry, um, even if he loses a bit of speed, it's going to take more than one guy to take him down. And like we talked about with the hip drop, have fun trying to tackle him the right way. So yeah, Derrick Henry is a huge problem. And to pair him with the most electrifying quarterback, dynamic quarterback, running wise, come on now. Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
and you know,
give me Derrick Henry.
I just think I agree with you. I think that Derrick Henry is a bigger distraction. He's a bigger problem for defenses And I think a lot of that has to do with pre-snap, right? Because like when you are a DB, when you are a linebacker, in previous years, you're back there looking at Lamar Jackson to see what the hell he's doing. Where's he going? Right? You're not necessarily worried about based off of what Lamar Jackson's doing, you know exactly what Odell is probably doing, right? But with Derrick Henry in the backfield, you have to watch both of those guys. You have to watch that mesh point where he's trying to hand the ball off and maybe fake it. Lamar's going to pull it out and take it up the sideline for 50 yards, or is Derrick Henry going to go up the A gap and bust your off ball linebacker right in the mouth? You don't know until you know. You know what I'm saying? So that's what's going to be so interesting. 7 days from now, we get our very first look at that combination, man, and I just can't wait. I can't wait. But Alex, let's go ahead. You have something else for me?
I have one question for the chat, and I don't know if you move on to
Sure.
questions, but real quick, I've seen this. Me and you are Bateman truthers. I literally have a Rashad Bateman graphic tee. Love the guy. I think he's very talented. What
Yeah.
to you guys, to you Sutton, and to the chat, is a successful season for Rashad Bateman, stat wise? Give me
Good question. Good
yards
question.
and touchdowns. What do you think is a successful season? Obviously,
I'm
17
thinking,
games played,
yeah,
but the stats.
a successful season for Rashad Bateman. I would say at bare minimum, 650 yards receiving, and at bare minimum, 5 touchdowns. 650 and
That
5.
650 was the bare minimum is fantastic because that's what I was thinking. You give me over 650, and and those touchdowns because I think the run game will be carrying a little bit. I
Yeah.
see 800. Hey man, you give me 800, I'd
Ooh.
be very happy. I've seen
Yeah.
that's the only number I'm seeing is 800. Oh my gosh! But I was just thinking,
Woo.
depending, I don't know passing wise what's this going to look like, but that's if he gives me that right there, 60 catches, 800 yards, and 5 touchdowns, he's crazy overpaying. I mean, overplaying his contract
Yeah. Yeah.
for his. That's
But
I
that's
would
what I
love
said,
it though.
650,
But I've just been
six.
seeing discourse about it.
Yeah. Yeah. He needs, I mean, because the way that Ravens fans talk about Rashad Bateman right now, or at least some Ravens fans, like, it's nasty, man. They're
Yeah,
like, get this guy off my team. It's just, it's like, bro, come on. You
he's the
guys
new
not,
Patrick Queen. You either love him or you hate
essentially,
him. That's
essentially,
how it is.
yes. That's pretty much how it is now with Rashad Bateman. So I hope you guys are right. I hope you guys are right instead of me. I mean, 60 catches, 800 yards, and 5 touchdowns. Again, I think the touchdowns, it has to be 5. 5 is just, that's the basement number. 17 game season. You're gonna have some red zone targets. You're a route running savant. Get open, catch some touchdowns. I can't do another season with less than 2 Rashad Bateman touchdowns. I can't. I just can't do it.
Yeah,
You know that.
he has 4 in his career. Last year,
Yeah.
32 receptions, 367 yards, 1 touchdown. So
Yeah.
Jason
That's not gonna
saying
cut it.
6,800. That means more. More bigger catches. More yak. I don't want to see 10
Yes.
yard and then that's it. I want to see because we know he can make people miss. He did it
Yeah.
his rookie year. Last year, a couple of times, the Lions game, caught it, made 2 guys miss, gets about 10 more yards. Love that. Let me see that,
Yeah.
Rashad
And
Bateman.
and John Harbaugh said earlier this offseason that they're looking for Rashad Bateman to be one of the best guys in the league, and they're going to be more intentional
Mm-hmm.
about getting him the football. I think Todd Monken had said, shared the same sentiment as well. Plus, he just got paid. We just gave him a new deal, so it's make or break. It's make or break for Rashad Bateman. If I'm being completely honest with you. And Jason also says here, there's a parallel with Bate and Ojabo, both too talented. Availability is it. Yeah, he's got to step up.
Let's hope Bate can have that Nico Collins type year last year, the 80 catches for 1,300 yards and 12 touchdowns. Let's hope he's that guy of the 2021 draft class to break out this year.
Yeah.
Let's hope it's Bate's year.
Okay, Alex, let's touch on a few things before we get out of here. We know Colorado's about to
Yes.
come on TV right now. We also have our fantasy draft at 8:30. So all you guys who are in the fantasy league, the Rain Gang Fantasy League this year, make sure you join at 8:30. We will be drafting live. And on the next episode, Alex and I will review our teams and see how we did. So, a couple things. Number one, uh, Brandon Ayuk, right? Brandon
Mhm.
Ayuk just signed with the 49ers. The saga is finally over. There was speculation. Okay, was he going to go to the Steelers? Was he going to go to the Browns? Was he going to go to the Patriots? Turned down all those. It turns out he wanted to be in San Francisco. He just wanted to get paid. I'm not exactly sure what his starting out asking price was because he got 4 years, 120 million. You know, so what was your knee jerk reaction to seeing Brandon Ayuk get his money?
I'm happy he's not a Steeler. I don't want to play him 2 times a year. Gave us trouble last year.
Facts, facts, facts.
30 mil for him is a lot. Him and Debo, they still got to pay Trent Williams, and it's hard to throw the ball to somebody when you can't have time. We've seen that before. But I thought kind of down the line, I thought close to home, Jamar Chase. He sees this. Oh, Brandon Ayuk got 30 mil. I want more
CeeDee
than
Lamb?
that.
Yeah.
Yep, CeeDee Lamb. I want more than them. Justin Jefferson, who I was playing at LSU with, he got 35 mil. Do I want to match that? Because T. Higgins is gone after this year. They can't pay both T and Jamar. Burrow is paid. They're gonna pay him. I'm looking forward to seeing them kind of deal with this next. But happy for Ayuk. Happy he got his money. Um, I saw that this has been the contract they've had on the deal the whole August on the table. I'm sorry.
Mm,
Very interesting. If you wanted to be on a winning team, I guess you knew you would have stayed in San Fran. But I'm happy this talk is over with. Tired of hearing about it. Happy for him. Happy for the Niners. He's out the AFC. Um, so yeah,
yeah.
good news honestly all around. And the Bengals have to pay Jamar Chase.
Yeah. Yeah. Jamar Chase is not happy. Trent Richardson, another guy on the 49ers, not happy. And Trent Richardson, he's the one guy he will stand on business. He won't play if you do not give him that new deal. He's done it before. He sat out an entire season um, with no pay, because he wasn't getting his new deal. So shout out to Brandon Ayuk, got the money. Jamar Chase is next in line. He will probably command more, not probably, he will command more than a Brandon Ayuk. He will command more than I think a CeeDee Lamb as well. He might settle for just underneath Justin Jefferson, if not maybe match him or more. To be honest with you, but Cincinnati, man, they are not. They're kind of frugal with cash, quite frankly. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's good for us though. I'll take that. And I don't. We are Ravens podcast. Can you see the Ravens paying a guy 30 mil, 35 mil, a receiver?
No.
Exactly. I mean, that's why I say draft. We gotta find that guy who can be next. I think Zay is one of the guys we can definitely build around for the next 3 years. But I want to have that duo. Kind of what the Eagles. They get AJ Brown and they drafted Devonta Smith. AJ Brown and Devonta Smith, nasty. Dolphins, Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle, nasty. I want to
Those,
have
yeah.
that duo in Baltimore with Lamar Jackson. So maybe
Oh
it can
God,
be
man.
Zay and the two Zays, Isaiah Likely and Zay Flowers, kind of how Kelsey
Mhm.
and Hill were together with Andrews. I'm not too sure, but I'm happy it's over with. It's, yeah,
Same, same.
good riddance. Good
Before we
riddance.
get out of here, I have a question. One more question for you, Alex. So the NFL players released a top five
Oh,
most overrated quarterbacks list, and it was very interesting to say the least. I mean, at the very top of the list, you had Josh Allen and Jalen Hurts, followed by Justin Herbert, Trevor Lawrence, and there was one more who I think I'm missing, but yeah, the two that
Tua.
really Tua, that's right, Tua, that's right, who I believe is overrated. I believe Tua is overrated. I do. I believe Justin Herbert is overrated. I do. I believe Trevor Lawrence is overrated. But Jalen Hurts and Josh Allen, I do not feel like they deserve to be on that list. I just don't. Jalen Hurts, dude's been to a Super Bowl, right? Outplayed Patrick Mahomes largely in that Super Bowl. If not for what was a holding call, like a ticky tacky holding call at the end, he would not be on this list. And of course, the holding is not on an offensive player, especially not the quarterback, Jalen Hurts. Doesn't deserve to be on there. I know they had the collapse last season. They started off 10-0, then had a collapse. He's not overrated. That pisses me off. Josh Allen, not overrated. Josh Allen has all the tools, right? I mean, he can run. He's a big guy who can run, so he can run you over and not get hurt. Okay, he's got a cannon for an arm. He can cut a football through high winds, like, and do it accurately. I mean, if Stephon Diggs catches that pass, that deep ball last year in the divisional round against the Chiefs, might have had a different AFC Championship game. Who knows, right? These guys are not overrated just because they fall short in the playoffs. That's what kind of bothers me. Tua, I can see how you can say he's overrated. He's a Tyreek Merchant to me. Can't play in the cold weather, and he's too small, right? Justin Herbert got all the arm talent in the world. It's crazy eye candy for guys like Peyton Manning, I guess, but he's not winning football games. Trevor Lawrence, the golden boy, right? The golden boy coming out of Clemson a couple of years ago, and really has not lived up to expectations, like, at all. So I can vouch for him being overrated as well. But what did you think of that list?
Agree with basically everything you said. I don't think Josh Allen's overrated at all. Um, I mean, that's crazy. I think he's a damn good quarterback. I think he's top four, top three. It's insane. The turnovers are a problem, but I feel like how good as he is as a quarterback, that kind of outweighs it. Um, Tua, I'm kind of right there agreeing with you. I'm surprised he's still playing with the head injuries. Trevor Lawrence, I want to see more from you. You have Ridley last year. I think they missed the playoffs too. I mean, he had the run 2022, went to Kansas City, played them really well, and they kind of just fell off. And then Herbert, yeah, Jay Herbo, I like him, but I need to see a playoff win out of you. I don't want you to be held to a different standard as everybody else when you've had more talent than some of the guys who have been winning playoff games. Hurts,
Right.
not overrated, and I don't know why they would say he is. He's a fantastic quarterback. He wins you games. You put up 30, I think it was 35 or 38 points in the Super Bowl and you lose. That is not your fault. Putting up 35 points in a Super Bowl and you lose, I mean, I can't get behind that at all. Um,
No, not at all.
Interesting list to say the least. Very interesting.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
And
Yes.
Jason, thank you.
Um.
I appreciate it. My dad gave me this hat. This is not my hat, but thank you. I
Okay.
wasn't
Okay.
born for this. Wasn't around.
Yeah. 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 That is a throwback. That's the throwback logo right there. What,
God, I miss it.
96 through what, 2000 or something like that?
Yeah, I miss it.
2000. Yeah. 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 Yeah, man.
If this was, if we
Shout
could
out to our
sell this,
Ravens.
oh my gosh, it makes so much money.
You're right. No, you're right. You're right. Last little piece of information before we get out of here. Colorado's about to start playing. Also, we have our fantasy draft in approximately 27 minutes from this very moment. Uh, it's been released when the Ravens are wearing their alternate uniforms. So the Ravens will be wearing all black against the Buffalo Bills. I believe that is week 3 or 4, something like that. We
Week
play them.
4.
Week 4. Yeah, and then we're wearing our new alternate kind of color rush types that were debuted over the offseason. We're wearing those against the Bengals, I think, in our first matchup against the Bengals I believe that is on Thursday Night Football as well. So
Yep.
we know who we're going to be rocking the nice unis against. I love that we're wearing all black against the Bills. Black against the Bills,
Yep.
that fits. That fits so well to me. What do you think about that? And the other one too.
Oh, I love it. I am a uniform junkie. I love uniforms. On Sunday night, that's beautiful. And the Thursday night game to have the color rush with the new helmet against the Bengals, give it to me. I'm
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to those games and purple pants too. We'll be able to utilize them. The black jersey with the purple pants. That's coming back this year. I don't know what game, but man, I'm looking forward to that. But I think is that all we have? 804.
Yeah, that's it.
All right. Well, oh yeah, like the vid first and foremost. But
Yeah, yeah.
thank you all for coming through this episode. Appreciate all of you. Fantastic episode. Hey, we're 2 episodes away, 1 week away from the Raven season starting, 2024
Yes.
season. I'm ready.
Yes.
He's ready. You're all ready.
Yeah.
Thank you all. Can't appreciate it, your support and love enough. Yeah, as always, follow us on Instagram at the Purple Rain Podcast. Follow this guy on Instagram, on X at Sutton Death. Follow me on Instagram at simplyas10.prod and on X at simplyas10. Our sponsor, Manscaped. Use code PRP, 20% off your whole order, free international shipping, best deal on the internet. And as always, stay positive, test negative.
And never, ever, ever forget, even on the rainiest of days, to call God. In episode 259 of the Purple Rain Podcast, we're going to catch you guys